Hello, hello, what up? It's John, your movie madman, and I'm back. Today we're going to talk about a bunch of movies. I'm going to have a little bit of a Stanley Kubrick video for you today. I've already covered 2001 in one video because that's quite a long film. I mean, to be fair, some of these films I'm going through are pretty long. One of them I'm pretty sure is actually longer than 2001. But today we're going to talk about Spartacus. We're going to talk about Full Metal Jacket, and we're going to talk about The Shining. So that's three films. I probably don't need to tell you what they're about because I imagine you probably have seen them because they're quite old. If you haven't seen them, oh, they're on my list. Maybe start watching some of the films on that list, yeah? I hear a lot of people say that. Oh, have you seen this film? Oh, it's on my list. Oh, have you seen this TV show? Oh, it's on my list. Maybe, like, stop making a list and start watching some of the stuff that's on that list. I mean, I spoke to someone a long time ago. I remember talking to this girl that said she was really excited about seeing Suicide Squad in the cinema. She's like, I'm so excited, I literally can't wait for it to come out. And then, like, 2 years later, she still hadn't seen it, so she obviously wasn't that excited about watching it. So, but anyway, enough at digging at people. I'm sorry. Alright, it just annoys me when people say they really want to watch something and then they don't watch it. So you obviously don't really want to watch it, do you? So we're going to start with this bastard, Full Metal Jacket. Full Metal Jacket, you see, is a war film. Obviously, I don't know if it was obvious. It might not have been obvious. It's obvious to people that have seen it because they'd know. So, watch with your mouth, yeah? Actually, you watch with your eyes. I mean, don't be mouthy. That's right. The film's kind of in two halves. The first half of the film is all about them being trained, and the second half is all about them actually being at Vietnam War. So, at the beginning, you see everyone getting their heads shaved. Very good details in there. Lots of hair falling off. There is grain present in the film, but you don't really notice it. One of the things I did notice, Stanley Kubrick is quite famous for not having any continuity in his films, except for when soldiers move around in a room and they're all standing still. So I'd love to know how he managed to get soldiers to move. I'd love to know how we didn't notice that the soldiers had moved around. Like, I don't know if he's just trying to fuck with the audience, but maybe he is. You know, they say that when he made The Shining, he moved stuff about on purpose just to fuck with the audience. So maybe that's what he's doing in Full Metal Jacket as well. I don't know. You know, I'm not Stanley Kubrick, and you know, I can't ask him because he's, you know, the greens in Full Metal Jacket all the way through the film look spectacular. The reds obviously look spectacular. Even if they weren't popping, they would still look spectacular. But the HDR does a good job in Full Metal Jacket. I think there was good picture detail, good colours in there, etc., etc. And it made for a good viewing experience as well. I was quite happy with that. Moving on to this bastard, Spartacus. Spartacus, though he's not really a bastard, to be fair, he's actually quite a nice character. Back cover there for you as well. This film's like 3 hours and 17 minutes long. So it's quite long, and it's one of those really old long films, you know, like the Ten Commandments and the Sound of Music. You know, like they're like it's really old. It's not a musical. I mean, neither is the Ten Commandments. The Sound of Music was a musical. Look, shut up, all right? We're talking about Spartacus. I did notice there's nearly 8 minutes of music at the beginning for no reason at all. So I was like, well, this kind of explains why the film's so long. I'm pretty sure it's one of those old films that's got an intermission as well. It's like, oh good, it gives me permission to go to the toilet. Although stupidly, you have to pause it when you go to the toilet because the intermission only goes on for about 30 seconds. So I don't really see why it was there in the first place. Like, I think maybe they got the Blu-ray confused with a cinema. And even then, in the cinema, if they gave you 30 seconds to go to the toilet, people would probably complain. I don't see why old films feel like they have to put the intermission on the disc. They could just like edit that bit out. It's not hard. Like, I edit out all the stupid bollocks that I say in my videos. I edit out most of the stupid bollocks that I say in my videos. I do. I have to, because otherwise I feel like I'm going to get sued, or I'll just start losing subscribers. You think I'm sarcastic? I am sarcastic. That's very true. But I do cut a lot of it out. So I do apologise if I offend people. It's not my intention. But please be aware, I do cut out a lot of stupid jokes. I do cut out a lot of my strong sarcasm. So the battles in this look really good. Quite violent for a PG. Yeah, I'm very surprised this wasn't lifted to a 12. The amount of films that used to be PGs that were then restored, and they're like, oh, this is actually quite brutal restored, and it goes up a rating. But this stayed at a PG, so that surprised me a lot. It's a bit like Gladiator, just not as violent as Gladiator, and nothing like Gladiator at all, except for the fact that there's gladiators in it. But yeah, I mean, Kirk Douglas is in it. Pretty sure Kirk Douglas is Michael Douglas's dad. They look similar, anyway. I mean, if you look at... Is that Michael Douglas's dad there? I don't know. Maybe someone else knows. I'm pretty sure that it's Michael Douglas's dad. I might be wrong. I can be wrong, you know, so... Shut up. I did notice in Spartacus, though, that some of the blood was a little bit too pink. I mean, I'm not complaining that it wasn't red, but it was a little too pink. And you don't want blood to be too pink. It's like sometimes when you see some of those old films and you see the blood and you're like, that's a little bit too thick. It literally looks like they're bleeding paint. And you're like, oh, alright, good one. Oh, wait there, I'm just gonna... You see what I did there? It's my shining mug. It starts off black, and then when you put hot water in it, it goes white. So that's pretty cool, isn't it? Do you see what I did there? Just a bit of product placement in there. Right, where was I? So next, I say next, last, the Shine In. Now this is the international version. So this is the version that's 2 hours and 24 minutes long. There is a normal version, that's not 4K though, but this is just 1 hour and 59 minutes long, so that's basically 2 hours. But that's just the normal Blu-ray. That's what's known as the UK version. And then this is the international version, which is Stanley Kubrick's preferred version. So I'd like to say this is the director's cut. I never used to appreciate the longer version, to be fair. When I first saw the international version, I was really bored, because I felt like they took the theatrical cut and then they literally extend every scene by like a couple of seconds, it felt like. But I think as I've gone on, as I've grown up a little bit, I have grown to appreciate the longer version of this. So some people might not like it because it's really long. This is one of those old films that looks really good in 4K. I mean, to be fair, those other two films look really good in 4K as well, but this, like, when that blood comes out of the elevator, you're just like, wow, look at all that red. Well, I am, anyway. Love it. There's parts at the beginning, I think, you start noticing the 4K straight away in this film. Like, right at the beginning, there's shots of Jack sitting in a chair, and even from quite a distance, you can see all the detail in his tie and his clothes. You're just like, bloody hell. If you look close enough, I don't know if it was done on purpose, it probably was because it's Stanley Kubrick, but if you look close enough, it looks like there's like a maze in his tie, which I don't know if that's the same as the maze in the movie, like the maze that they go into later on. It might be. I wouldn't be surprised if it was. But yeah, I mean, spectacular film. I love The Shining. There's so many ways to interpret this film. I've heard some really stupid interpretations of this film, and I wouldn't want to post my own interpretation of it because people will probably laugh at me. But I just love it. Pretty much every time I've watched it, except for those first few times that I saw this version. Ugh. But now, like, oh, it's just great. Definitely worth the 4K upgrade there as well. So yeah, that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching. If you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, that would be really nice. And I'll be back with some more reviews soon for you.